Episode 530, recorded on May 29th, 2025. We are 1 week away from the release of Nintendo Switch 2. We are so excited. That's all we're going to talk about is Nintendo Switch 2 today. Nothing else. We don't care about anything else. We're just going to focus on that. We don't care if we talked about it already. We're going to talk about it again. We're just going to all Nintendo Switch 2. That's it. And maybe other things. Jesse, you know what to do.
What's up, everybody? It's Marty here, and you're listening to Nintendo Dads episode 4 or 500. We're just taking 100 off. 530. It is May 29th, 2025, and gamers, dads, Nintendo enthusiasts, this is not a drill. By the time you hear us next week, you will have your hands on Nintendo Switch 2 if you pre-ordered one, or if you fought people in line for one, or maybe you just found one on the side of the road. That's right. In 7 days, your thumbs will tremble, your backlog will explode, and your wallet will say no as you experience full power of this fully operational Nintendo Switch 2 battle station.
Wow.
And as we all dive into Tears of the Kingdom Electric Boogaloo, Nintendo Switch 2 edition. So, plenty of news to talk about this week, plenty of rumors to dissect, plenty of hopes to, lift up and get all riled up. But before we do that, Tim and Jesse are on the show with me this week. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I am doing much better because I can actually hear the music this week, which is great. Because if anybody's been listening in the past couple of weeks, for whatever reason, I couldn't hear this wonderful music. But now I can, so I'm happy. Plus, we're in 4K this week. Can you believe that? Jesse's got us all bumped up to 4K live. I'm sorry if you're watching us in 4K.
Yeah, so let us know on your if I don't know if Twitch will let you watch it in 4K, but YouTube should. So if y'all checking on different sources, let us know how the video quality is.
And
because we have no idea. This is literally the first time I've tried this.
If there's any sound issues or anything like that, let us know gently, nicely. Be like, you guys suck, sound issues blow. No, that's not how you do it. Be like, hey, there's a problem. I don't know if you guys caught it. Because we're working with all kinds of new technical magic over here, right?
Yeah, the PC that I've been talking about for over 2 years, almost 2.5 years, is finally in service. So I had to reinstall everything and reconfigure everything. So, that old computer, I think was up for over 8 years. It was in service before the Switch 1 launched. So,
oh gosh, yeah. It was time to give it a retire.
It was
retirement.
It was time to retire it.
Yeah,
because I know I've had problems with Audacity with it and Canva. So hopefully the faster PC will just eat them up.
Like dots in a dark maze with ghosts. See them up.
Yes.
Yeah, that thing doesn't come out until July.
I know. I'm excited about that.
Shadow Labyrinth.
Yep. So hopefully everyone's doing good. It's been a week. We've got some games we've played. We've got some news to talk about. So,
Marty, how are you doing though?
I'm good. I'm good. Summer is rolling like a freight train going down the hill. I will not be on the show next week because I will be on Lookout Mountain in Georgia. Lookout Mountain sounds like the place that Hot Rod shot the Autobot shuttle as it flew over Autobot City. When you notice there's a hole. In fact, I think he said Lookout Mountain. You can see it all, Dano, from Lookout Mountain.
Sounds about right.
I don't have that movie memorized or anything. But anyway, so I'll be with 44 of my other favorite friends at camp, and we will have a wonderful time. I will have the Nintendo Switch 2 before I leave. I don't know that I'll get a chance to even touch it or update it because I'll probably have to leave it overnight, updating and doing all its things before we leave early that next morning. I may not sleep. I don't know. I think I have to drive one of the buses, so I don't. Anyway, yeah, I will have it in hand. That's good. And speaking of having things in hand, I have this in hand. I have my micro SD Express card that came from Walmart today. Because guess what? You can't get any of the freaking things anywhere else. So I had to settle for a one that is not the size I wanted. But it's okay as long as it works and it allows me to put some games
At
on
least you
my.
got one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, I saw that. The brand is on ONN. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I did see it on Walmart, and I was able to order two of them. Yeah, for
Yeah.
the 512 gig was just like $65. So I'm like, at that price, I'll give it a go. I wanted the terabyte, but I think we can start with this and upgrade later. I think.
I really don't think that they have an on-brand 1 terabyte.
Right. No, I don't think they do either. But
Yeah.
I would just say that
give
to
it
people
2
out there listen.
Yeah, give it 2 years. It probably will.
And so this is the 512 gigabyte on-brand card is $65.77, which is significantly cheaper, I think, than the same cost in other brands. So you may want to look at it.
Yeah,
We're not
SanDisk was like maybe 100.
again. These are not like we're not we haven't tried them, but these are just PMY brand cards branded for Walmart. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah, I've used on
we'll
branded
try it.
components before and really haven't had any issues. So
So
I
you
felt
finding one. I would say this: finding one in your area. Your mileage may vary, but you can check the Walmart website, and more stores are putting these out. I will tell you that the guy who rang it up at my Walmart says, I don't know if I'm supposed to sell this to you, but he checked it and it showed him a price and it showed him it was sellable and deliverable. And he's like, they told me not to sell it, but they're not stopping me from it. So, okay,
well,
here you go.
it says it works with Nintendo Switch 2, but it isn't specifically Nintendo Switch 2 branded. So that's why I think they can sell it today.
Yeah. So if you have any problems trying to get one, there you go. But anyway, you can go to the Walmart website and check, and it should show you stock and everything. So yeah.
You're right there.
Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I was answering. My wife is about to be mad at me.
Oh,
okay.
That's always fun.
It's okay.
I'm used to that.
Anyway, so with that being said, let's dive into the news, shall we? And our news is brought to us each and every week by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for a little as $1 a month, you can join up with the greatest community of all time, and you get access to our Discord. You get an ad-free version of the show. You get pre and post show audio at the $10 level. You get all of our Discord channels at the $5 level. And for $30, you get to be a Patreon producer. We want to thank our newest patron of the show or friend of the show, Gamer Knight 45. We really appreciate your help in supporting our content and helping us create more content for everybody. And so
and just to let you know, Gamer Knight 45 was added to the wheel.
The wheel of destiny. Yeah. So he'll be in the spin tonight. And if you don't know what we're talking about a spin for a free, because we're giving it to you free Nintendo Switch 2 game or game of your choice.
Nintendo says he's way cooler than Gamer Knight 44.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like Better Than Ezra. You remember that old band Better Than Ezra? Do you know where the name came from?
Rings a bell, but no.
There was a band named Ezra in their town, and they hated them, and so they named their band Better Than Ezra.
That's funny.
And then they got signed. So
that's not spiteful at all.
literally, they were better than Ezra. So there you go.
Yes.
So somewhere out there, someone is on a podcast called Better Than Nintendo Dads, and you're not my friend. So hey, let's talk some news. Again, news brought to us by you guys over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Hey, we're getting ready for Nintendo Switch 2, and just some, we call this a Nintendo Switch cornucopia, Nintendo Switch 2 grab bag, if you will. Just some things that we want you to know, and maybe you're aware of, maybe you're not. Animal Crossing New Horizons got its first update in 3 years yesterday. This was a real quick, short update. Only patch notes say that improves the compatibility for multiplayer sessions between Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch. I would say this about this update. It didn't do anything else, but expect to see a lot of these kind of updates in the next 7 days.
For sure.
Yeah.
Would you not agree?
That would be logical.
Yes.
Yep. We're going to see a lot of these upgrades or
updates. See a lot of updates and upgrades and everything else in between from Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Power Wash Simulator gets an update, and gets that, like, HD upres, whatever, that everybody else is getting, because I've got work to do. I've still got work to do.
That's something I haven't installed yet on this PC. That should be fun to see what that looks like in 4K.
Ooh, I would love that. Yeah. Also reported today, Nintendo Switch 2's available storage. Again, we know that the onboard storage for the Nintendo Switch is 256 gigabytes. And you're going to have 249 of those gigabytes free, because the OS is taking up just 6 gigabytes, which is, if you think about it, from what we've seen, it's pretty bare bones.
That's out of the box. There's going to be a day one patch that installs a lot of extra stuff, so that's going to go down pretty quick.
Yeah, it probably will. But you may not need a micro SD express card like we were talking about. And just so you guys know, I want to say this again. This one that I'm holding here, if it is a micro SD express card, it is going to say on the card, it's going to have a EX on that card. And what I like about this Walmart brand, and I don't know if the other ones do this, but this one says in big letters, compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. All right. So it has to say EX. It can't. There's some of them that say XC. There's some of them that say other things. It has to say EX on it.
There's a lot of I think the normal SD cards that Switch 1 uses transfer data at about 70 to 80 megs per second. There is an upgraded version that also starts with an E, so don't get it confused. But so if you're looking at specs, look for the transfer rate. If it only says 100 or 200, that's not what you want. Yeah, the Express will be like 850 to 900.
This says read speeds up to 800 megabits per second in this little thing, right? Red thing right here in the top.
Yeah, so you want to look for that almost a gigabyte per second transfer rate.
Like this thing is called a micro SD XC express card. That they've got to find another way to name these.
Yes.
May I suggest new micro SD XC card plus Knuckles.
Galaxy Edition.
Galaxy 2. That would be great. But anyway, so you hopefully some more of those will be available next week when Nintendo Switch 2 launches, but you may not need them. I mean, Mario Kart World, I think we saw, is only clocking in at 24 or 25 gigabytes, so that's a tenth, right?
Yeah, I think the Nintendo published games normally are good at keeping the size down. It's the third-party games that you're going to see your 100 or 150 gig games come
out. And I
know
everybody is getting Nintendo Switch Tour, and so that's only like 6 or 7.
Yeah,
Welcome Tour is only like
that's
6
a small
or 7.
game.
Yeah, I'm saying I know everybody's buying it, so here you go.
If they're not buying it, they're watching someone else who bought it.
Yeah,
But everyone will
Absolutely,
experience it in one way or another.
in one way or another. A couple other Nintendo Switch 2 news items. Nintendo is going to be a part of Summer Game Fest this year for the first time. Not specifically the Nintendo logo itself being shown off in the 2025 partners, but the Switch 2 logo being shown. So, with it being the 6th through the 10th, this is prime time for them to be able to get their to get eyes on that system, to talk about the launch, to talk about, this is where they can come in and say, oh, we know we've sold this many units already, and blah 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 blah. They're everything's going to be positive and upbeat, and
Yeah,
they're going to show off
because this is Friday night, so they'll have 24 hours of sales and data already. That'll be
just
an interesting number to
yeah.
hear.
I would say that with this, look for a shift toward Donkey Kong coming up as the big next game. Like we've got a ton of Mario's Kart promotion so far. Look for a big footprint for Donkey Kong, I think, during this, because they're going to want to get that in front of people, as well as probably more of. It's funny to me. I think that Jamboree TV has had more like upfront promo time in front of people than Donkey Kong has.
So far, I think so too.
So that's kind of interesting. It's almost like they're trying to hide something with Donkey Kong.
Well, Mario
Whatever could it
Party is
be?
always also the more popular franchise, so
Well,
they want to
that's
get that
true.
out there
That's true.
too.
Yeah, yeah. I wish they. I watched a trailer for that today, kind of like an overview trailer, a new one that's on their YouTube channel. It talks about some new modes for Mario Party. It talks about some different ways you're going to be able to play both Jamboree TV and the regular game, and it mentions the upgrade for people who already own it. And I know we know the price. I think or is it known?
Price for what again?
Is it for Jamboree TV for the Nintendo Switch upgrade?
I think
Is
it's a
it
20.
19?
It's a
Is it
$20
20 or
upgrade.
25? $20 upgrade.
Yeah, I don't think
It was
anything's a
very
$25 upgrade. It's either
it's
10
it
or
was
20.
very weird to me that they were like, and there'll be an upgrade for people who already own the game, and they did not tell how much it was. I was like, you had a great opportunity here to like be like, and it's only $20. I don't know why they wouldn't do that. Unless that's just a trailer that they're showing in all areas, all regions. But it's there.
19.99 for the upgrade pack for Jamboree
Cool.
TV
Well, you
for
can go
US
and look at
USD.
that over on their YouTube channel. Um, and again, Summer Game Fest is the 6th through the 10th. So expect lots of updates. Other game developers that are on this list. 2K. I'm just mentioning people that I know have already kind of announced Nintendo Switch partnerships. 2K, Atari, Annapurna, Bandai Namco, Capcom, Devolver, Dotemu, uh, Epic. Um, I'm trying to read this. It's black and white. Sega, Square Enix, Xbox, Yacht Club. So there's going to be quite a bit shown off there.
Jamboree
So
TV
that,
is going to be 7.7 gigabytes.
woo, just the update.
Possibly the whole game, but because I can't tell if it's I only have the upgrade pack selected, but I don't know if it actually
Sure.
dynamically switched that.
Okay.
Vic
Gotcha.
says Mario Party Jamboree TV is making me think of Raving Rabbit's TV party.
Oh, please God, no. Other Nintendo Switch 2 news, Nintendo apps updated this week with lots of new stuff. The apps for Nintendo Switch, that row below your games on the main screen, have gotten a fresh coat of paint. As well, so you'll notice that when you go into Nintendo Switch Online app on your Switch, it now makes a different sound. It also matches your theming. So if you have the black theme or the dark theme or the light theme, it will match those with appropriate shades and colors and icons.
I never did like that
Oh,
they didn't match it before, so I'm glad that they did.
yeah, I'm 100. It only took them 8 years. Um, Also, Nintendo apps for mobile devices have been getting updates. Parental controls has gotten updates or updated. Not too much different under the hood there. The Nintendo Switch app, which was formerly the Nintendo Switch Online app, also got updated with brand new features like being able to see who's online. It also is ready to receive videos and pictures that you take. Those will be organized in a gallery on
And
that app.
and we found out from someone on Discord that if whenever Tim logs in, he gets a push notification.
Oh yeah,
Like 4 times,
yep.
apparently, throughout the day.
And
And I
you can
wasn't
also
even
get
on it, but once.
game chat notifications through that. And I believe can you do that? Can you send game chat notifications through that app? Was that confirmed?
Can you chat in the app? Is that what
No,
you're
can you
saying?
send a notification like, "Hey, I want to start game chat"?
Oh, yes, I think it said you can. No, I think it's you can make you can add friends, not to a game, but more of just add friends.
Yeah, yeah, okay. All right. It says Switch 2 features include the ability to receive game chat invites as well as send screenshots and videos from your system directly to the app. Up to 100 files can be uploaded and stored for up to 30 days. As for new features, you can now send and receive friend requests in the app and either using a friend code or QR code, view your friend's online status and play activity, enable push notifications for when a friend goes online, and view your own play activity with a more precise gameplay hour counter. Also, with this, the Nintendo Today app was updated this week to now allow integration with your calendar on your phone. So if you use Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, it will now show the dates that are on those calendars already on the Nintendo calendar as well. And Tim discovered earlier the accounts page at my.nintendo.com has also been updated with a host of new features, like being able to see all of your virtual game cards, being able to see a section called passes, which we don't really
Or
know what those
I
are.
thought was that different from vouchers, or is it that the vouchers?
No, this says
No,
passes.
yeah, it's passes, and I don't know what it means either.
Says there are no usable passes right now
Maybe
and
we'll
no
find out
passes in
next
use.
week.
And
Another
you,
thing,
something that I saw that was interesting there was that you have at the very bottom, you can detach your console from the pass. And I don't know what
yes,
that means.
I don't either. You can change your family group settings. It's a little more intuitive than it used to be. So it's all the kind of the functionality that was there. But let me tell you one that absolutely freaks me out. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Okay.
If if you have attached different colored Joy Cons to them, to your Switch, it will show up on your account page.
Oh,
Because
really?
look, right
Now,
now,
now I want to look.
look here. I want people to see this. Okay, so I have purple and orange Joy Cons attached to my Switch right now.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen. And do y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Wow, yeah.
Purple
Oh,
and orange Joy Cons
And mine,
attached
mine are showing
right
white,
here.
white and white.
mine was not doing
Like
that because
I know that that's probably small potatoes, but that blew my mind.
mine won't do that because I'm using the correct nitro deck.
You mean it doesn't show
Doesn't
that
show as a nitro deck.
it doesn't
No.
show the cracked nitro deck?
No, that would be
It
awesome
doesn't
though.
show as a cracked nitro deck.
Right.
Anyway, I just thought that was kind of cool. Like
That is cool.
that's a pleasant little surprise. So you can go test that out on yours, and hopefully it'll show your Joy
I'm
Cons
gonna do
if
that
you
right now.
actually have.
I want to see
I
what
think they have
happens
to
if
be
I put Famicom controller on it.
That's a good idea. It probably has to do a little minute of connection to the internet. Now Tim's investigating too. He's like,
I-
I'm getting my
I'm getting my Zelda Joy-Cons out right now.
okay. So we
Oh
are,
yeah.
for those of you
Skyward
who are
Sword.
just listening, we are trying to trying to connect different Joy Cons to this um, to
Okay,
our
I
systems to see if they'll
I
update on the website.
I see the colors you were talking about popping up on the side. I don't remember them being that bright.
Okay.
You know, when you put them on your in the screen lights up when you slide them on.
hmm
I don't remember them being that
I think
bright.
there's been a little bit of a user interface
I
overhaul
think they
right there.
did. I think they did do that.
It's a little more noticeable when you slide the Joy Cons on and off. That there's Jesse. What did yours do?
So far, nothing.
Oh,
All right, I
So,
gotta go to the account site.
but yeah, I'll give it a bit to see if anything changes.
That didn't work. Nintendo account. I went to the wrong page. Accounts. Yep, it showed up.
the blue.
You see that on my
Holy
screen?
cow, that's cool. But it doesn't show the Nintendo Famicom or
Oh,
NES.
yeah, it showed pretty quickly for me. So,
Wow. Okay.
and it's showing, yeah, one side's that blue, one side's the purple for the Skyward Sword Zelda one. So
That's pretty awesome.
that's pretty cool.
So those are all updated. You can go download those apps now and play around to your heart's content. Also, a couple other little small news items here.
Oh,
It
sorry to interrupt real
is,
quick. I just
yeah.
noticed that on my virtual game cards, Welcome
Mhm.
Tour is listed.
Because you pre-ordered it.
I pre-ordered it. It's right there, and it wasn't there before
Yeah.
until today.
So I wondered what that was. I have Fortnite because you can already download it or pre-order it for Switch 2.
Nice.
It was in a little square like that too. It was not shaped like a virtual
Yeah,
game card.
and Switch One games that are on pre-order will also show up there if you
Oh, that's
pay.
cool.
Yeah, I think it's you because you pay for it a week before this release. So I have a new Picross game that comes out next week, Deltarune and Welcome Tour showing up on my list. But not they cannot be used yet, obviously, until next week.
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. A couple other little tidbits here. I did not realize that we were at this, but it is Splatoon. The Splatoon IP's 10th anniversary has passed. It was May 28th, 2015, that Splatoon first launched 15 years ago.
10 years
And
ago.
so it is, or 10 years ago, sorry.
Yeah,
It
and
is
we were
now,
around for that.
yeah, well, you guys were. I
Justin,
don't
Zach, and I
remember if I
were
was,
around for it.
I don't remember if I was on the show with that. I guess I wasn't. No, because I was
Yeah, because this was
just,
still in our first year.
yeah. All right. So go back to the archives and listen to their thoughts on Splatoon. That should be
I don't
interesting.
even know if a lot of those older episodes are available. That's because
Would they be available on YouTube?
maybe.
They might be. I'll
But
check while you
I
keep
know we had a
talking.
problem with their RSS feed delete.
Gotcha.
Back when the feed was being fed off of VG Tribune, it had a limit of how many episodes it would show, so older episodes fell off.
Gotcha. Okay. They're lost to the sands of time. To celebrate, Nintendo has released Splatoon's music on the Nintendo Music app. There are also new user icons available for Nintendo Switch Online by going to that app on your Nintendo Switch. And there is a free downloadable PC and mobile wallpaper on Nintendo's Japanese site, or Big Brain Activity if you are a patron that has access to our Wallpapers Discord channel. It's in there. You don't
Right
have to
now,
go hunting for it.
everybody has access.
Everyone.
Everybody who is a Patreon subscriber or Twitch subscriber, I think, has access to all of our channels and Discord.
Love it. That's awesome. So go over to the Wallpapers Discord channel on our Discord if you're a patron of the show and or Twitch Prime subscriber, and you'll find it there. And then one last news update before we talk about game releases. Pokemon Presents has announced a new date, and it's a far away date. This is pretty surprising. July 22nd at 6 a.m. Pacific time. I want to talk to you, Jesse, specifically about this. Usually we don't get a lot of lead time on Pokemon Presents.
Definitely not
Maybe
two
just a
months
few
worth.
days.
No.
Why do you think this is so far? What do you think there's something big coming? And if so, what do you speculate it could be?
Um, they might be teasing Gen 10 at this. If they don't here, they probably will talk about it at the next Pokemon Day next year. But this would have been after anything Pokemon. The Pokemon Go's birthday celebration is in June, so that would have already been come and gone.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have a release date for ZA. We'll talk about that later in a bit, but which I'm surprised they didn't wait until this presentation to announce it, because what harm does that do? It,
Mm-hmm.
it's not coming
Not,
up before July
nothing
22nd,
real.
so you know.
Right.
So I honestly have no idea what they could be doing. I'm hoping it's interesting.
I hope so too.
Maybe they'll finally announce that release date for that card game they announced 2 or 3 years ago.
I'm wondering if it might not be. And now there's Nintendo Switch 2 editions of Scarlet and Violet.
Well, that's kind of anticlimactic if that's all it is.
Well, I mean, they'll probably show more Legend ZA.
Yeah,
They'll show they may tease Gen 10 or fully reveal it. There could be Switch 2 remakes of those two games or upgrades for current gen
maybe we'll get
Pokemon games.
that Gen 5 remake that people have been wanting
Ooh, yeah.
since the Gen 4 one was not openly received well.
And my hope is a new Pokken tournament.
Ooh,
I
not
would be
something I'm
okay with
interested
that.
in, but I'm happy for those who are.
Right. Yeah, I would like Pokken tournament too. I would be okay with. Well, as long as it's not like we're releasing the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Pokemon Snap.
Just look at
Kim's
all
like, yep, that's for me.
just look at all that fur on Pikachu now
Oh,
in 4K.
actually, I was raising my hand because I got an update on if our episode on May 28th, 2015 is available on YouTube, and it is. There's actually an episode that was dropped on May 28th, 2015, podcast number 29, and it includes the E3 2015 predictions.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Wow.
So
See how wrong we were 10 years ago.
there's there's number 28 and number 30 before and after those two. So if any talk about Splatoon is there, it would be there. But there's definitely also a June 4th video where somebody reviews the Splatoon amiibos.
Hmm.
So
Because they had a little pre-release demo as a network test, so we would have talked about that an episode or two before release. I'm
Yep.
not sure. I don't remember how much leeway that had.
Yeah, we actually go all the way back to episode 9, it looks like, in our YouTube channel. So lots of time there to eventually talk about Splatoon.
Somewhere in there we did.
Somewhere in there. All
Cool.
right.
Listen, that's some deep cuts,
Right?
right? I mean, we need to maybe go all the way back, and I may need to go back and listen to that just to see. Now I want to know what your E3 predictions were.
Right.
So and laugh at Justin when he's wrong.
I
So
will
anyway,
post the link in our Nintendo Dads channel in Discord for anybody to go check out.
and I can't remember if you guys talked about this last week or not, but another little tidbit that I saw this week, speaking of Splatoon, is that it has been confirmed that USB-C mice do work on Nintendo Switch 2. So if you don't want to
Yes.
use your Joy-Con as a mouse, you can use your favorite gaming mouse.
I'm sure the drivers were compatible, so that makes sense. And while the system itself never used it, certain games did have mouse support. Like Game Builder Garage had it. There was a few. I remember there was a few other games that did it, and they worked well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good
Uh,
deal.
yeah, I'll probably end up having to get a mouse because if I play a lot of games on my desk here, there isn't a lot of room on it for a Joy-Con mouse. I have to use a mouse, but I'll figure something out.
Fair enough. Some release date info to round out our news here. Out now, Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma. Also, by the time you hear this in our audio version, Elden Ring Night Rain DLC will be out, as well as the Disney Illusion Island starring Mickey and Friends update for Nintendo Switch, which adds Scrooge McDuck. And this means that that game will also be available on other consoles and PC at that time as well. So if you've been wanting to play that game, it should be out at this time. Also, just a reminder, next week is nuts. It's gangbusters.
Right.
Releasing on June 5th, along with the Nintendo Switch 2 console, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster, Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition, Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4, as well as 2 and 3. But Chapters 2, 3, and 4 are brand new. Fast Fusion, Fortnite, Hitman World of Assassination Signature Edition, Hogwarts Legacy, Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, Mario Kart World, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, Nobunaga's Ambition, Awakening Complete Edition, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S, Rune Factory Guardians of Azama, and I believe that's the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of
Yes.
that game.
Yeah, the Switch One's
Sid Meier,
edition out now. This Switch Two edition comes out next week.
and I even saw today that there are some people already receiving the physical copies of that Rune
Yeah,
Factory game,
and
Switch
in that
2.
Rune Factory game, the Switch Two cart will work in a Switch One.
Okay, interesting.
I
Sid
don't know
Meier's
how, but
Civilization
they will.
7. I don't either. That makes no sense. But
Yeah,
okay, thanks Nintendo.
We talked about that before.
yeah. My guess is
That
they
was
have
one of the
both.
games.
My guess is they
Yeah.
have both builds on the cart,
Yeah.
and the system just
Okay.
picks which one to run.
Yeah. Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Sonic X Cross Shadow Generations, Split Fiction, Street Fighter 6, Game of the Year Edition, I believe is what that one's called, Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunin Unification Wars,
Wow.
Survival Kids, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, and Yakuza 0 Director's Cut. Whew.
And if you
Wow.
can't wait for Survival Kids, you can go play the Game Boy edition right now on NSO.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It just came out. Also, upcoming stuff for the rest of the month. You might want to keep an eye on Date Everything comes out on Switch on the 17th. Lost in Random, The Eternal Die out on Switch on the 17th, and Tamagotchi Plaza for Switch 2 and Switch on the 27th. And of course, the games are for both systems, but this one, we want to make a note, Tamagotchi Plaza has a Switch 2 edition or upgrade. And then looking ahead to the coming months, Patapon 1 and 2 replay on July 11th, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 and 4 on the 11th, Donkey Kong Bonanza on 17th, Madden NFL 26 on August 14th, and How Dare You Skip Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 edition plus Jamboree TV on the 24th of July. Pokemon Legends ZA now has a date for both the regular edition and Switch 2 edition on October 16th. And Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake on October 30th. And you can always check out our YouTube channel for lots of our first looks on games like these and others. We probably upload something at least 5 out of 7 days of the week, and when things are moving and coming out. So there you go. That's all of our news. Tim, I know you're typing right now,
Yep.
but I think it's time to spin the wheel.
Yes,
Time to
it
make a
is.
deal. For those of you who are joining us or fresh to the show or new, all of our patrons, friends of the show, are and Twitch Prime subscribers are on this giant wheel that Tim's about to bring up on our video version. And for the month of May, we have been giving away a free game every show, and so this is our last one since the Switch is 2 is going to be out by next week. And so someone is going to join Gino to the Past, Rob Yapple, Andy Panezic, and Matthew Waldak. Let's see who it is. Spinning live. It is
Joshua.
Joshua. So if you're out there, Joshua, you need to contact us to get your free game. You can email us or you can contact us on Discord. Yeah, Joshua, our final winner. So congratulations.
Winner, chicken
And
dinner.
yep. Give us a call. Give us a call. Give us an email. Give us
Be the
a
next
message on
caller.
social media, whatever.
Well,
Let us know how to get in touch
we
with
have
you
voicemail
about
for
your
that.
free game.
That'll work.
Yeah, you can do that if you want to give your phone number and your address and your real name via
92925
voicemail.
NINDADS. Be the next caller now.
We'll take it. You've always wanted to say that. Just admit it.
Right.
So that's our news. Let's talk about what we've been playing this week. Holy cow, Tim's been playing a lot of games, which means we're going to start with Jesse.
Okay.
Right.
Apparently there's a. I won't talk much about it, but there's a game that all of us got a code for. Strings Theory. I put like 5 minutes into it, and I'm like, this isn't for me. So I think I did 2 stages and was done with it. So I'll let you guys.
Oh, you didn't give it enough chance.
I'll let you guys convince me to play more later. When it's your turn. But another game I started, it just came out today, is Pinball Spire.
Oh, that came out today. I need to download that.
And so far I'm liking this one. It's kind of, I don't know if you remember Pinball Quest on the NES, where there was like you'd move from one board to another as you go and you're trying to progress. And in this game, you are this little pinball just walking, rolling around or walking around the countryside, and then this giant spire appears out of nowhere, and so you say, I'm going to investigate it. And so you start at the bottom and you work your way up. So, and then there's around, like, I think I'm always up in the 5th or 6th board, and like, I knew what I needed to do, but it took me a while to actually do what I needed to do. But I finally did pass it. There are save points along the way. If your ball goes past your flippers, you just go back down to the previous screen. And sometimes if it's a save screen, then it's really easy to get it back up. But if it's a previous screen, that you actually had to solve the board to open the exit. Well, the exit's still open, but you still got to shoot the ball up there again, which
Yes.
sometimes could be difficult. But at least once you get past like the 4th board, there's so far there's been a save room between each board, so I didn't have to do too much rework just to get back up there again. And throughout the game you add additional abilities that cost mana. So the more XP you gain, which is like how you just normal pinball points, hitting anything gives you points, killing enemies gets you points. The more points you get, your maximum mana increases.
13.49 right now until June 13th.
Yes, it's
10% off.
It's on a sale.
As you're talking about this, it's kind of reminding me of that. Wasn't there a pool game where you were a living pool ball, like a cue ball, and you were
Yes, and
trying
I
to,
despised that game.
but you like this one.
I like this one. Yeah. So you get the ability to like nudge the table. You get the ability to slow down time. You know what? And those abilities cost mana. So if your mana depletes, then you can't slow down anymore. Uh, I'm sure there'll be more abilities that opens up. Because I'm still pretty early on in the game. I don't know how long the game is, but this is a game I do want to keep playing. I'm liking what I've started. I think I've
It was on Steam and I was interested in it and I was like, I bet this is coming to the Switch. So I was trying to hold out
oh okay
before playing
yeah,
it. So
and it's a
I'm
really
glad I did.
nice pixel art style.
Yeah.
And I think I might be a half hour to 45 minutes in so far.
Nice.
Cool. Tim,
Yes, sir.
what you been playing, buddy?
So I started the Sea of Stars Throes of the Watchmaker on I've been playing that. Just started that. I'm planning to make that my weekend game. Because it's one I like to sit down and spend some time in. Um, so it's going to be between that and still working on South of Midnight. I want to get that done too. So both those games have my attention, but I obviously Sea of Stars being one of my games of the years and prior years. I want to play some more. I'm enjoying it because you basically it's basically a new game because you come in no matter what kind of powers you had from beating the game, you lose them all. None of them will apply here in this world that you jump into because of the watchmaker's request. So you're jumping into the world. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Minish Cap in a way because you shrink down and go into little things to solve puzzles in there, and then come out to go to the next area. Or that puzzle will open up an area for you. So, but you basically learn that your powers don't work there, or your skills, or those things you learn from being solstice twins or whatever, um, no longer apply. So now you've got to put on a performance, and your performance will dictate how powerful you get with your skills. So it's very interesting. That's as far as I got to. I've opened up some areas. I'm exploring the town right now. It's kind of like a carnival town, trying to get as much as I can out of that town before I move to the next event in the game. So I'm enjoying it. Definitely, if you're a Sea of Stars fan, jump into it. You do have to have, I think, rolled credits at least once in the game in order to play Throes of the Watchmaker. So, but it was pretty easy to jump right into the game, into the DLC. Um, the game pretty much kind of walks you through it. Like, if you want to do this, go to the ship, go talk to one of the shipmates, and you'll start the DLC mission. So, again, that was Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker. Next, I've also been playing Strings Theory. It is a good, relaxing, for me, it was a good, relaxing puzzle game where you're just jumping in, kind of like, mobile-esque way of try to complete this puzzle and get the most, like, 3 stars. I think it's just 3 dots, but to get the most points out of it, try to solve X out of X, or find X out of X strings that you need to find in order to move on, because you can move on a little bit early, I think, if you don't find them all. Like, if you get, say, if there's 10 strings, you get 8, you can move on, but if you get all 10, then you get full scoring on that board. And as you progress through each board, you unlock more characters, up to 3 characters total as you get through that first world. So Jesse, you only did a couple boards. You only had, I think, access to 1 character.
Yeah.
So there's 3 altogether.
One of the
Each,
things that kind of took me out of it is it's isometric, and so like the controls are like Qbert. So
yeah,
like
Cool.
if where up is really upright, down is
yeah,
really down left. So if you really want to not get confused by which way is which, you have to play with your controller at a 45-degree angle. And sometimes that's okay. Like, but I didn't want to do that here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's not definitely going to be for everybody, and it is set to be a three-player local three-player game where you each can take turns playing your character and helping each other to get out through getting through the board. And this was the game that I talked about and also visited the developer at PAX East. And this is why we got the codes for each Nintendo Dad to give it a try. But they put a lot of effort into it, and they were very passionate about what they were talking about here. And it's definitely for those type of families who like to, at least three gamers together in a family or friends want to work out these puzzles together. But it's very chill. So there's no timers. There is a timed level. Keep that in mind, but most of the time it's not timed. So that's Strings Theory. Power Sync is another puzzle game where you're underwater and you have to each level gets progressively more difficult in connecting circuits to open up your monorail to be able to go onto the next board and go deeper in underwater to fix the electricity problem in your city that's underwater. So it's, even though it's not, doesn't look the same as say Captain Toad's treasure game, it like a 3D perspective, it's still or that, what do you call the isometric, I guess, in a way. Uh it isn't built that way, but it still reminds me of that, where you're going through a puzzle. There's different ways of getting to things. You have to use the camera to look at different ways you can approach platforming in the puzzle to be able to go from one area to another within that level. But basically, you're trying to, again, turn on switches or turn off switches or connect switches and watch out for traps. And a lot of back and forth into the puzzle to be able to get all of the switches connected and power going so that you can move on in the monorail. So again, another relaxing game because it's underwater. You get a lot of underwater sounds and the kind of like that underwater music you get. So it was very relaxing and chill game as well that I may go back to. It's kind of kind of deciding between Power Sync and Strings Theory, even though they're both kind of different games. But Power Sync I enjoyed because again, I don't know why I gravitate to underwater games, but I liked it.
It's your
Uh,
jam.
yeah. Speaking of my jam, a racing game called Hotshot Racing. I found out about this game when someone asked about my top 5 racing games, and I was looking through my catalog and then kind of looking through like other people's lists to see, just in comparison after I had mine together, to see what I might have missed or forgotten about. And Hotshot Racing for the Switch came up in the all Switch racing games list, and I was like, oh wow, that came out. I thought it was something new, but it came out in 2020, so I missed it in all that chaos of 2020. Um, and so downloaded that and played it. I did a video. There's a first look of it out on our channel. And it's a solid arcade racer, and I'm enjoying my time with it. It's having a lot of fun with it. You get to pick your racer. It's very polygonal. Kind of reminds me of Virtua Racing by Sega, or some of Sega's early racing games. Kind of gives me that vibe. But it's very arcadey, and I'm enjoying it so far. And we'll keep checking that out and probably talking about that later. Again, I have a video on that one out there, and I have a video on Power Sync. There's a video on Strings Theory. So all of those, there's first looks on all of those out there. And another first look is Monster Train 2, which I've also been playing, and probably more so than any of these other games right now, because it is a deck building game, roguelike game, where you have to build the deck to be able to get through a path on your way through heaven. Because heaven was taken over by titans, and you're working with the demons of hell to actually help you throw out the titans that have taken over heaven. So, but it's card card building. You build your with factions. You build your decks between two factions, and try to make a run to defeat one of the titans in the game. So I've come close, very close, a couple times. I haven't been able to do it yet to get my first run complete, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a good game to jump into, especially this is why one of the people saw me online earlier today, because I jumped on during lunch to play this game. So yeah, Monster Train 2, there was a Monster Train 1. Both Monster Train 1 has a video out on our channel, and Monster Train 2, the one I did for first look there, is on our channel. So go check that out to get a view of that game. And then Remnants of the Rift is another first look game I got out there. It is isometric, so Jesse, you might not like it because it has that you should turn your Joy-Con, sideways or something to get the which way you're going. But you can adjust it from the very beginning which way you think is going northwest when you're using your Joy-Con.
You choose which up is up.
Yeah. Or which is, if northwest is up for you or if northeast is up for you, then you can choose. So, but this is also a roguelike game where you make a run going through rifts, through dimensions, where you're trying to connect from your dimension to another dimension where you lost a friend, as far as I can tell in the story. So every time you take a dive, you are getting skill upgrades, power-ups. I'm still learning a little bit of details on that because they don't train you in this game. You just jump right in and make your first run, and you're learning as you're doing each run. So you can do power-ups. You get augmentations, or you can augment yourself because you're cybernetic. It's got a little bit of a cyberpunk feel to it, but it's also got a retro stylized feel to it, where it feels like you're in the 70s but has future tech in it. So it's very interesting aesthetic to it, kind of like American Arcadia was, where it was like set in the 70s, but you had a lot of future tech in there. So but Remnants of the Rift is, again, you're on an isometric grid. It's a tactics roguelike game where you can it's not necessarily it's not turn-based, but you can pause the game for a moment to make your move, and then you can quickly pause it to make your next move, or you leave it unpaused to see what happens next, or see where the enemies you're fighting, where their next move is. But you're trying to defend the module that you carry with you to help you jump through each dimension. And you don't take damage, but your module will. And when your module takes enough damage, then your run is over if you lose all your health on the module. So again, that's Remnants of the Rift. That one I'm enjoying too. Although Monster Train 2 is my roguelike that I'm playing right now. But because I keep getting so close to getting that first run beat on Monster Train 2, I keep trying and trying. That if I don't feel like I'm making it, I might take a break and go back to Remnants of the Rift. And then I did play one more that I didn't list here, which is Jesse's recommendation he made to me in Discord, which is what's it called? Rally Classic Arcade Classics. Yeah. Rally Arcade Classics. I tried that out because there was a free demo, and I just recorded a first look of it too before we did the show, just to see what it was like. It is from the demo perspective, it's very basic. You're given a chance to try out each of the modes. You're racing in a rally, and you don't get to pick a car. You start off with one car, and then if you get a trophy and on that particular mode, then you'll unlock another car to then try that mode again. Maybe improving your trophies or whatever that you get in that mode. This is also a polygonal car environment setup. I'm not sure on the detail or history of the developer on this, but it is very straight and to the point of this is a drifting type rally type racing game. You get a lot of the rallies where they tell you what turn's coming up. You get it in your headset, you make that turn. You just have to get used to your controls as far as when to hit the gas, when to hit the handbrake, when to hit the brake, how tight you want to make that turn. And that was something I had to get used to on my first try for the first look.
The
So, but
developer is listed as NetK2 Games, and I click it, and it's the only game there.
all right, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe this is their very first game here, at least for the Switch. Sounds like. I don't know if it's a
The
one
publisher
person
is
developer.
NetK DOS, and again,
I don't,
for only game there. So
yeah, I don't know if the
I'm not.
developer, this is their first game they developed here, or if they developed somewhere else.
Yeah, this is going to be a $12 game on discount until Monday for 20 down to $9, which the game releases on Sunday. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that's an interesting date, right? So, but it is,
So
if you
you
like,
can get it on sale for 1 day, or you can pre-order with the discount.
at least there's a demo for you to try. And then again, it's something to at least give a try, especially if you're in a rally racing games and or rally arcade games. So
Yeah, it says 44 cars from the 70s through the 2000s with 48 tracks.
yeah, I had a lot to offer there. So yep, I'll have a first look posted, but you can also go check out the demo yourself if you're interested.
Yeah,
So
I saw this title show up on the weekly download email, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like a racing game. Tim needs to know about it.
all right. Yep, thanks for sharing that. So that's what I've been playing. How about you, Marty?
So I have been playing Strings Theory 2, or as well, and I am in the Jesse camp on this one. I and I think it's I respect it as an extremely well made game. It just was I could tell that it was not going to be a game for me. However, that was just on the first play of it. And so I am going to go back to it this weekend and give it a fair shake again to try that. Another game that I've been playing that I finished and have a video up on our YouTube channel for is Duck Detective: The Ghost of Glamping, which is a sequel to the Duck Detective: The Secret Salami game that came out maybe 2 years ago now, and maybe it was 2024. I can't remember.
I can look.
But this is again, it is a duck who is a detective in a world full of animals, and you're trying to unravel several different mysteries that all add up to one large mystery. And the way that you do that is by talking to characters, finding items, using those items to get characters to talk more, and then or having them talk about other people that you've met, and then solving Mad Lib style puzzles that give you that progress the story along. And so those are called deductions. And
Uh,
it's DEDUCK, deductions. And so once you make a deduction correctly, the story progresses or it opens up more. And so there's no penalty for making wrong deductions. It will just tell you like you have three or more things wrong, or you have two or more things wrong. And then once you get them right, you get a little stamp on it, and they'll either open up new ones or it will move the story along. The thing about these games is they're about 2.5 to 3 hours long. And you may say, well, that's really slow or that's really short. It's not worth it. I find that the humor of these games is a selling point. The writing is fantastic. The voice acting is really on point too. And you kind of do start to like get into the characters. um, you know, and so I highly recommend both of them. If you like the Ace Attorney games, it's not going to be as hands-on like using the microphone or microscope or sorry magnifying glass to find clues or objecting to things at certain times. It's not about that, but it is about deduction. And so there's not a whole lot of games out there like that on Switch. And so I'm thankful that and I only got stuck once. So I was kind of proud of myself for that. I only had to use a guide one time, and they're out there. So this is available right now for Nintendo Switch One. Both games are available. And Did you look them up,
Yeah,
Jesse?
the first game came out a year ago, May 23rd last year. $10 game, currently on sale for $7 until Thursday.
Okay. So these, yeah, the Secret Salami on sale. The Ghost of Glamping is just $8.99. So you can pick up both for uh, 20 and give them a whirl if you like that type of thing. And then the last game that I've been playing, I've been playing Fortnite a lot with the Star Wars season. I went back and picked up Mario Wonder because I just wanted to play some Mario Wonder, and I had secret levels that I'm not found and finished yet or gotten. So I finished it off. So I've 100%ed Mario Odyssey or Wonder now. Um, and I only had like three left, plus the final like badge a thon or whatever, which was really frustrating, but also it was on a scale of um like hard to the like the darker side of the moon in Mario Odyssey. It was not the darker side of the moon. And thank God, because I never thought I would beat that one. But I did
How about
way back
Dread
when.
level? Metroid Dread level hard.
Um I would say it's a little bit harder than Dread because
Okay.
there are some parts where you have to be pretty precise. Like
Yeah.
there were some things that I had to go, okay, I got to remember that for next time. But
Okay.
overall, pretty fun.
And of course,
The last game I've been playing,
it
I'm sorry.
forces you to use the worst badge of all time, the invisibility one.
Yep. Yes. And I don't like that at all.
No one did.
Um, the last game that I want to talk about that I also have a video for up on our channel is Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which came out May 22nd, and I wasn't on the show that week, so I didn't get to talk about it. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is it has probably the game that most people are going to be familiar with in there is Street Fighter 3 Alpha Upper, or Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, which is like the final version of Street Fighter Alpha 3, with all the characters added in and turbo speed and new stuff. It's it it's really I love Street Fighter Alpha 3, so it's really good. Uh, but it also has Capcom versus SNK 20 or 2001 and or 2000 and 2001, which are really interesting. It's a handful of Capcom characters versus mainly Street Fighter, a little bit of Darkstalkers thrown in, with Art of Fighting and Fatal Fury characters uh, from SNK. So and those are pretty fun as well. I can kind of see that there's a little bit of a date on those, like as far as excuse me, as far as like comparing to fighting games now. Uh, and then there's a game on there that I just is so crazy. It is called Project Justice. No, this is not Project Justice is not the one I want to talk about. Project Justice has characters, I believe, from Rival Schools, which is a kind of a cult classic Capcom fighting game, and it has a little bit of a 3D element to it, as far as just the way it looks. Then there's Plasma Sword, which is Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bill Stein, which is just bizarre.
Wow.
It's just really weird. Like there's an alien and a Birdman and a zombie and a like a robot skeleton and a guy whose head is his brain. And it's very weird. It's a 3D fighter. It's a 3D fighter Star Gladiator returns for a thrilling out of this world sequel. So yeah. The last game that I want to talk about before I talk about two more is Capcom Fighting Evolution, which
Hmm.
literally has a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex as a playable character.
Awesome.
Hauser is the name of it. I don't know what there's characters in here from Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha, Darkstalkers, and Red Earth. So yeah, lots of going on there. The animation on that is just chef's kiss. But y'all, the real star of this collection is Power Stone and Power Stone 2.
Hmm.
And if you're not familiar with Power Stone, let me just get Jesse's hackles up here. It's isometric, but it's an isometric style 2.5D, 3D ish fighting game where you are fighting one or multiple people for control of three gemstones uh, in a quest to acquire the ultimate gemstone, the Power Stone. The three gemstones are important because each player, you and your opponent, both start with a colored gemstone at the beginning of your turn. All right, so you'll have a blue one, a yellow one, or a red one, and so when you fight, you will in doing that, you will knock the gemstone out of the other person, like out of their hands, out of their grasp. When you collect all three, you turn into like this cybernetic final form where
Thanos.
like you can do like it's almost like Power Rangers. Like you you morph into this fighting form where you have like projectile attacks and or whatever. But the buttons are really simple. Like there's a punch button, a kick button, a jump button, and a grab button. And the grab button is you can grab the other player or you can grab items. Like there's in this game, there's all box, chairs, knives, pipes. Some of the bigger characters can uproot trees and like swing them like a bat. It's just crazy. But the lighter characters will actually spin around those and launch off into a drop kick. But what you're trying to do is basically to outlast and win in 2 rounds. So you want to use everything at your disposal, and so it quickly gets chaotic. Power Stone 2 took the formula from the first one and upped it to 4 people at a time fighting. And they just added all kinds of things like turrets and tanks and missiles that you can throw, bombs. Parts of the stage close off or sink or just fall. And you don't die. You lose a little bit of power, and you come back. And so you're just fighting with all of these people until you're the last one standing. Character design is really cool. It can be like I noticed it like from when I played it when it was originally on Dreamcast, it seemed a little slower. It seemed a little, it shows its age a little bit, but I really would love people to buy this so that like Capcom goes, oh, we need to revive Power Stone for modern day. I would love to get a new one of these. So it's a little bit Smash Brothers, a little bit Street Fighter, like a mixture of those. And so if that makes you curious, maybe you want to check out our video and see some about Power Stone there, and maybe it'll influence you to buy it. I think they're fantastic. I love those games. And it doesn't hurt that all of them have online play with rollback netcode. So you're able to get online and play and the community is going to be there. And I think that's great. So it's
Awesome.
it's a little bit of a for a collection of older games is a little hefty price tag, $40. But I kind of feel like it's worth it because I'll say all they're mostly quality games. I didn't really like Project Justice. I didn't think it was very good. Um, I couldn't play it for very long. It was really slow. And maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know, but you can see in the video I go through every game and play a little bit of it. So you can see if it's something that you would like or not. So there you go. That's what I've been playing. That's what we've been playing. Let's turn on the community spotlight.
Yeah, we
before
got a good amount of.
I was say
Go
before
ahead.
we jump in, I wanted to quickly share what I was laughing at. I saw a notification coming in from Jeff Grubb's Twitter that just says breaking, so I had to tap it to see what it was, to see if it was something important. It ended up being a joke, but I to explain the joke, I have to explain what happened earlier today. So Yuri Lowenthal announced that he is not going to be the voice of Yosuke in the Persona 4 remake, which hasn't really officially been announced yet, so he kind of announced it. But so the image attached to the breaking tweet is a message from a user named Chris Pratt. Again, highly doubt it's the real Chris Pratt, but he says, "I have bad news, everyone. I also have not been invited to lend my voice for the Persona 4 remake." It was attached to someone's $5 super chat on someone's feed.
That's funny.
But
Good old
That's a
Chris
good one.
Pratt.
I thought it was funny, so I thought I had to share it.
That is a good one. I like that. All right. Speaking of sharing, we have some questions that the community has shared with us to answer. Before we end out the show, we like to answer those questions from the community. Uh, as always, we have a few characters in our community who like to give us some questions. So one of them being Koopa Kid 80. He asks, "Are the Nintendo dads family members as excited for the Switch 2 as the dads? What games will you be playing with the family, and what are you looking forward to experiencing together with them in the first year of the Switch 2 release?"
Uh, my son is hyped. My daughter is excited to get a non-busted Switch because she's getting my son's OLED
Okay.
or mine. We don't really, it doesn't really matter. So that she could continue, her daily clubhouse games, 51 worldwide favorites play.
All
That's all
right.
she's going to use it for. And my wife's literal reaction was, eh.
All right. Jesse?
Yeah, Matthew's excited. My wife couldn't care less.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's Sammy is super excited. He's trying to figure out how to make money to buy his own. Um, Sophie's on the fence. She's a PlayStation PC gamer.
Mm.
So she's like, she wants it because she loved her Nintendo Switch, but she knows she hasn't played it as much in the latter half of the Nintendo Switch's life cycle. So she's kind of like, she's not sure. My wife also is like, she can wait. Probably if the next Animal Crossing comes out, then we'll see. But right now she doesn't care about getting it day one. She's happy with her Switch currently and is playing the game she plays there. As far as playing games together, it's going to be whatever Nintendo drops for us. So we'll probably try playing Mario Kart together. We'll probably try out the Jamboree TV stuff, which I did get a camera, by the way. I finally got one. So
Cool.
pre-ordered. So I'll be getting that delivered whenever everything else comes in, I guess. Um, and then any other kind of indie games or Nintendo games that will allow for the multiplayer games. So my family's always willing to try out those things with me. Plus, just a lot of times too, if I'm playing in the living room, and that's going to be a conundrum in itself since I can't buy a dock just in its own yet, like Jesse, you were talking about. Because if I want to play in front of anybody who wants to sit and watch me play, like say Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom on the 4K TV in the living room, I need to have a dock there. But if I want to do anything as far as, recording anything that we do for the Nintendo dads, I got to have the dock here by my computer.
Yeah,
So,
and we still can't pre-order it yet. The page
yeah,
for the docs for the extra docs on the Nintendo store page just says releases June 5th. So hopefully that means I can buy it on June 5th and get it sometime next week or the week after.
Hopefully. They don't care if you
cool.
stream it. Actually,
Yeah.
they do. They just don't want you to have it where you want it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or unless we find out, like you said, Marty, what you were looking forward to, if the covert dock works,
I
covert
hope
dock
so.
2. If that works at all with
But
it,
you
then great.
still
Well,
like think about this
worst case
with
scenario, it may still work at 1080p. It just may not work in 4K. I'm not sure what its
if the
specs are.
covert dock does work as far as power consumption, you will need a premium HDMI cable
Right.
that says it outputs in 4K to be able to get the
Yeah.
full
But the
effect
Switch
out
2
of
will
it.
come with one.
Right, but if you're like me and you're moving it back and forth place to place,
Ah,
I'll
yeah,
need to
yeah,
get one for my streaming setup.
Yep.
yeah,
So,
Yep.
yeah. But they have HDMI cables that are 8K certified, so
yep. I
they're easy to
actually
find.
I checked on that today at Walmart and they do have on brand those as well. So, and there is a
Good.
distinction in their packaging that makes it pretty easy to tell which one you're getting. They are a little more expensive, but I mean, you don't have to buy like the gold plated HDMI cable, the monster cables, or anything like that. An HDMI cable is an HDMI cable, unless
Right.
it's the premium kind. That is the only distinction if it can
They
carry a
do have
4K
numbered
signal or not.
versions of those, so we have to look for those.
Yeah,
Like the 2.1s and the
I
3.1s.
don't know which version's the best and which one's not. I've never
Yeah,
really
Yeah.
kept
yeah.
track of that. But Quag in the chat says that his wife is stoked for Mario Kart. There are weekly complaints that a proper Dr. Mario does it needs to be on the Switch.
That's our response to that.
Yes. Yep. Uh, all right. So Koopa Kid 80 asks also, with the Nintendo Online, Nintendo Today, and Nintendo Music all being updated ahead of the Switch 2 release, how would you continue to improve the content? And do you believe more new apps and features are incoming? Without a doubt. What do you guys think?
Here's how I would fix or continue to improve Nintendo today. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but depending on when you visit Nintendo today, there may be something different than when you were there before.
Yes.
Just release it all at once. That's annoying.
Yeah, because
I'm sorry.
I thought the point of the app was for you to check it daily, not 5 times a day.
Yeah, it's not called Nintendo every hour. It's Nintendo today. Release it. It should be there when it refreshes for the day. There it is. It's done.
Yep.
You know, because I was noticing I had gone in there earlier today to mess around with the calendar thing, and I went back in right before we recorded, and they've added some information about uh, drag drive, and they've added something about the how to press a button to unlock your system and a P-switch mission 5 video. So those weren't there earlier today. Listen, I know what the deal is. They want you there a lot. I get it, but it's not an app that I'm going to use a lot. I'm going to use it one time a day. I'm going to look at my cute little animation for whatever day it is, and I'm going to read the news. Just be done with it.
And a new feature that I'd like to see, optimally in the Switch itself, but if it has to be in an app, so be it. But I want to have like the ability to see what games I've played and how long I've played each one, at the detail level of what the Wii U and 3DS gave us.
I like that.
I
Yeah.
miss that functionality
Yeah.
versus this. At least you played for at least 5 hours. I'm like, that doesn't help me.
And
You started
can I
playing
throw
8 days ago. That doesn't
I'm
help
gonna
me.
throw another one out there too that I maybe this is redundant because you can do this with the website. I would love to be able to browse the eShop on the Nintendo Switch app and not have to
Yeah,
do it on my system or a website. Like it shows me what's new. It's very
Mhm.
quick.
and since it's
You
a
go
web applicant
in,
anyway, that should be easy.
yeah, you can go in and you can see the videos that they've uploaded. You can look at the screenshots, then you can make your purchase.
I agree with that.
I like that.
Definitely. I also agree with your Nintendo Today thing. It should be, like you said, what's the news for the day, and then no matter what time of the day that I'm going to go check it, I should see the same thing that day.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I would like to see is more shareability. they've been kind of taking away some of that stuff, not making it easy whatsoever for me to share the news that I'm reading in this app. All the apps on my mobile device have a way to share something. This does not. Why is that, Nintendo?
Yeah, I saw a video. I don't know if it was Game Explain or GP or can't think of the other one, but the Good Vibes Gaming. One of them did a video about that exact topic, and I'm like, I agree. It should be shareable. You want people to know the news. What's
Yes,
more important, getting the news out or getting people in the app? I
exactly.
understand
Because
both are important, but getting the news out should be more important.
you can share. Here's a link to what I'm looking at in whatever I'm going to share it with, whether it be sharing with people, wherever I'm going to share it. It can link back to the app so that maybe they, give them a tidbit of what it is that I'm sharing, and
Right.
then they click on it, and then, oh, you need to download this app to see more of it. I'm sure that's going to annoy some people, but at least allow me to share something, share so it shows the picture of what I'm trying to, that same picture you see in the Today, Nintendo Today app, that if you go to the main page and you see that you scroll through everything, that same picture, that same tile should be what I see when I share it with somebody. And then if they click on that with that headline and try to want to go look at it, then it'll ask, oh, you need to go download Nintendo Today to see this. I don't see why not. Why can't I do that? Nintendo, come on, Nintendo. And then the other thing, Nintendo Music, I think would be really cool on the Nintendo Switch 2, to be able to play on there, not necessarily for something I can do on my phone, but so that later on, maybe there's something I can put on in Mario Kart when I'm doing that, exploring the world. I can play Nintendo music in the background from the Nintendo Music app, my playlist I have created there. Allow me to play any kind of music I want to hear while I'm roaming the Mario Kart world
I like
tour.
that. I like that. It's like
So,
a radio station.
yes,
Yes.
I think that would be awesome.
That would be cool. That would be
So,
cool.
all right. No, great questions, Koopa Kid 80. Thank you for those. Another question from our Discord. Darth Platypus says, how big of an effect do you think the Scarlet Violet Nintendo Switch 2 update will have on the sales of Pokemon Legends ZA?
I think that the more than that, the Nintendo Switch 2 version of ZA will impact sales. Like when we start fully seeing like way more about that.
Yeah, I don't think Scarlet and Violet anything is going to impact Legends much, just because Pokemon Legends Arceus, I would say, well, it's a series of two games, so not a lot to go on, but still, Arceus did its own things in its own way outside of the main games. Some worked well, some didn't work well, but in a whole, it was, I think it was positive. Again, I still call Arceus my favorite Pokemon game of all time.
Same.
Yeah, so I I think what Scarlet and Violet does literally will do nothing to Legends, and what they do in Legends will literally do nothing to what they do in Gen 10. I think they'll be their own standalone games doing their own standalone things.
And I don't need to say anything more. Jesse has spoken. All right. Zaflonk asks, staying on the topic of music, what's a band that you claim to dislike, but yet they have songs you love and you're just being stubborn? Mine is Limp Bizkit. I will tell you every day that it's the only new metal band in the world I don't like. And yet when Faith or Nookie come on the radio, yeah. Any bands that come to mind for you guys that you claim you dislike, but if I just maybe one song that they play, you're just like, you know what, I like that actually.
I
I
don't
don't want to.
follow music much since the since the early '90s to even be able to answer that question.
So anything early on that might have that fit
Not
that bill?
not really. If there is a case, I wouldn't. I don't. I might have thought a song sounded cool without even knowing the band, and then if I never heard it again, I forgot that I
Yeah.
heard it the first time. So yeah,
Gotcha.
I kind of don't have an answer to this. Good question though.
That is good question. I'm trying to think
I
too.
I
Band
have
that,
three
okay, go
that
for it.
immediately came to mind because
All right.
it's so funny that this question got asked because my wife and I were just having this conversation last night or the night before about like a random song came on and I looked at her and I said, like it's that band is one of those that like if a song comes on, I'm not mad about it. But I also is not it's not in my playlist. It's never going to be in my playlist. I don't want to see like I'm not going to seek out their music. And I have three bands like that. Number one is U2.
Okay.
I don't get the hype. I don't understand it. Um, and I listen. I know that U2 is like formative for some people. I don't get it. I mean, like Vertigo is a good song. Every now and then I can listen to Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For, but I kind of think that they like his vocals just aren't good. Like I don't know. I can't get past it.
Okay.
There's that song that they did too, The Sweetest Thing. I like that song. But I don't like a lot of U2's old stuff. Another one is Aerosmith. Like if Aerosmith comes on the radio, I'm cool. I'll listen to them, but I just don't like. I don't want to own any of their albums. I really like them, but Walk This Way with Run DMC. That's a good song. What's the one from the asteroid movie? Don't want to close my eyes. Don't want to
Oh
miss a
yeah, yeah.
thing. Oh, that's good. Oh,
Well,
mm,
okay. Well, I got
Chef's
friends that
kiss.
was their wedding song, so that's
Okay, but I still look. That was my senior year of high school, right? That song. I was
okay.
like, oh yeah, um, yeah. I still really like that song. And then my last one is Smash Mouth. I'm so sick of All Star, but they've got other good songs. They've got other good songs.
Okay.
So Walking on the Sun, still one of my favorite songs from that like era of music.
Gotcha.
But like I'm not gonna like be like, "Oh, I gotta hear Smash Mouth. It's not my thing.
Yeah. So for me, it's not a band, it's a person
Okay.
that I don't go looking for their songs,
Mhm.
but when she's done dance songs, I'm like, "Hey, that's kinda catchy," and I'll listen to those, and I'll actually turn it up, get a good bass line out of it, and listen to it. Can you guess who that is?
Is it Cher?
No. But that
Do
is funny though.
you
There's
believe in
Yeah, that is funny.
heaven
I
and
know what song you're talking
love?
about there. No, someone more recent.
Is it
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift?
Taylor
Okay.
Swift.
This is my
I
second guess.
I don't go actively seeking her songs, and a lot of her songs is
Yeah,
like, okay, whatever, uh, or not my thing. But her dance songs, her pop songs that are more dancey,
sure.
I will turn those up. I'll have them on my playlist, for having something that's more upbeat. So yeah, I'll listen to those like "Shake It Off" or whatever else. I can't think of any other
Listen.
titles,
I
but
would add. I'll add her too.
yeah.
Like there's a few songs that I like, but to me, she's generally annoying.
Vic says, "Let me
Okay.
guess, Hatsune Miku," and he goes, "I was close when you said Taylor
No,
Swift."
that one's just annoying. Period.
Who the heck is
Is a V.
Hatsune?
It's a
It's a
Oh,
VTuber.
okay.
Japanese Vocaloid.
Okay.
Oh,
They
Gotcha.
actually used a recent movie with her in
that
it.
was like when she was in Fortnite for that. I was like, oh my gosh.
Hey, if it's got a good upbeat song, that a good bass line, I'll listen to it.
Tim, can I throw a recommendation your way of a
Sure.
band that I think you would love?
Okay.
Okay. Um, have you heard of Electric Callboy?
I think so.
Okay, so
Is
two
Ebistel
songs,
on?
two
Yeah, I
two
think.
songs, two
Oh boy,
songs. Techno Train, and really you need to go look up the version. This is how you search for this in
I
YouTube.
found them.
Techno Train with the right amount of chugs. Okay, you'll understand what I mean after you hear the song. And then the second one is a collaboration that they did with Baby Metal called Ratatatata or something
I
like
have
that.
that.
And
I actually
it's
have that song on. Yeah, that's where I heard
that's my new like that's
I have that on my
it's on
playlist.
this it's on WWE 2K25 and
All
that's when I
right.
first heard it. And I love it. I just but I was it kept popped up the other day when I was playing. I was like, I bet Tim would like this song.
Electric
I bet he would
Callboy,
like this.
Electric Cowboy Techno Train with the
Some
right
of their
amount of
lyrics
chug.
are I'm just going to tell you they're terrible, but
Okay.
in lots of different ways. They're terrible in lots of different ways. So however
Fair
you
enough.
want to take the word terrible,
Fair
they're there. I
enough.
mean, it's not like the most inventive. Anyway,
They're fun, sounds like. So yeah.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, I get it. I get it. No, I have that. Yeah, that rat tat 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 song on my playlist as
Okay,
well. So yeah, that's probably where I
yeah.
recognize it. I thought maybe it was one of the bands Episode recommended, but he recommended something else too that was like I listened to it and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but it's got some silly lyrics in it too. So
Okay.
all right, cool. Yeah, I put it down to look at it after we're done
New
here. Maybe
music.
in
We're finding it out right here.
maybe in post
Okay.
show I'll go explore more there. All right. So that was it from Discord. Now we got Patreon question. The Jiggy Collector asks, "Hey dads, did you get an SD card for your Switch 2? Which one did you get?" And he
Yeah.
says he got the 1 terabyte card.
Well,
And I'm
you've
like,
got the
"Where did you
one.
get that?"
You got one of them. He's got the only one. That's where it's at. The on brand ONN
Yeah, you
512.
got the five
That's what I'm gonna
512.
be.
Yeah,
I mean, until
that's still
Amazon
good.
ships the other one, that's it.
Yeah, and I ordered two of the 512s, one for me, one for Matthew.
Nice. I went to try to look for it as soon as you posted it, and it was gone already. So, I
Yeah.
have a
I had
256.
to go into the store. Like I couldn't order
Yeah,
it.
Oh, I
I
was
had
able
to
to order
I
go
it
might give it
like
a
to
online.
a
try.
store that was had to
Yeah,
go to a store 2 counties away.
yeah. The the page on the Walmart website that said 1,000+ purchase recently. So I think a lot of people are stocking up,
Yep.
preparing for
Oh
the
yeah, well because
Switch
they
2.
can't find it anywhere else.
I got the 256 Samsung one from Best
Okay.
Buy. But I'm probably not going to open it up. I might just return it because I'm just going to try to deal with the memory I have on board and uh and then just wait until I can get the 1 terabyte eventually.
Yeah.
So
The downside about getting a card and upgrading it later is because it's a special card that requires a special reader, is you need to buy a reader that's compatible to plug it
yeah,
into your computer. And I think the reader itself is like $150 or $200. So
nice.
that's something else that's got to be, if when I do buy a higher capacity card, I'm going to need to get that reader to do the data transfer.
Yes. Yeah, and I don't want to deal with that. I figured I just might just return the one I got from Best Buy and wait. Or if somebody else in the community is looking for at least a 256 additional one, maybe I'll sell it at cost to them. So, but yeah, right now I'm not going to put it, I know I'm not going to put it in when I get it. I'm just going to use the onboard memory for now, and wait for something that I know will like and use and not worry about it dying or anything like that. So I'm not saying this one will. I want a bigger memory card. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. Next, the last question came in our chat. Actually, came from Just Being Bruce. He asked, with the resurgence of Battlefield 2 and knowing that Tim does not like EA, I like him now. They're fine.
Battlefront 2.
They're breeding Madden. Do you guys? What'd you say?
Battlefront
Battlefront 2.
2.
Sorry, Battlefront 2. Do you guys think that Battlefront 2 will show up on the Nintendo Switch 2? I don't think so, but if they make a Battlefront 3, I think so.
Yeah, I think it's got a chance. If Probably depends on how well Madden does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends on if they're not going to make a Battlefront 3 anytime soon, then Battlefront 2 Switch Edition might be a good one to do.
Yeah,
I
and
think I don't know that I would call Madden 26 a test for EA. I think they're gonna probably do 26 editions of all their big, whatever. Is it like what they have? They've got Madden and FIFA based. No, do they even have FIFA anymore?
no, they call it
It's
No,
something
FC.
else.
FC.
FC.
So they'll do FC. They'll do Madden. Um, and may I don't know, because here's the thing about Battlefront 2 as well. Like, how long is it going to stay hot? Right? Do you
Yeah,
want to pour the resources into putting it on Nintendo Switch and then it be cool off immediately and nobody
yeah.
buys it?
'Cause I think they had a bump because of May 4th, and then they had another bump with the Endor series on
I
Disney
think Fortnite
Plus.
has helped bump it too. I think
Fort
people have said, I don't want
with
to do it that.
Fortnite,
I want to play this, but I don't want to play it the Fortnite way. I want to play it
right?
Battlefront.
So, but yeah, so it's a lot of things coming together at the same time that in 8 months that might be people aren't playing again.
Yeah.
It just happens to be a weird May,
It's the stream du jour of this time, right?
something like
Yep.
that.
And so I don't know.
Well, that is it for the questions. But I want to say thanks to everybody who's been subscribing or gifting or popping into our streams today. Thank you very much. I keep seeing popping up like Grissom subscribed, so thank you for that. And
Yeah.
I think was it Cub? Say it was Cub. But somebody gifted somebody a subscription, and everybody's re-upping their
Nice.
subscriptions in Twitch. So yeah, thank you all for doing that. C-Dub, sorry, I said Cub. C-Dub is the one who gifted,
And
supported us, and
and
us
he
with
gave us
Super Chat.
100 bits.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Bits.
he gave us some bits. So thank you very much for that, C-Dub. And anybody else who I might have missed, who re-upped their subscriptions and has been chatting in our
Yeah,
chats. Thank you for
Grissom
that.
subscribed to Prime. GRI
Yep.
550M.
Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
my friend Jonathan.
Oh, okay.
Really cool guy.
Yep.
Shout out to Jonathan for subscription.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Just remember, when you subscribe, that gets you access to our Discord. So if you want to pop on in there and join the fun over there, it might seem overwhelming at first, but we'll help you get through it. We'll help you get through it. So there's a
We
lot of
will be
channels
your
in there.
guides,
Yes.
your impresarios.
Search is your friend the first time you come in there. Just
Oh my
use the
gosh,
search.
absolutely.
If
Absolutely.
you want to
Sometimes
know
even
where to
I
talk
get
about,
overwhelmed by our Discord.
if you want to
That's
talk
why I
about
don't talk a
Nintendo,
lot
do a
in there.
search. If you want to talk about a
Yeah.
specific game, do a search. You'll find
If
out where everybody's
you
talking about that
if you do not put it in the right place, the Discord police will find you.
with boots.
Yep.
With boots on. Yes. He says he
There-
says Legos. Yep, just type in Legos and you'll
Yep.
end up probably in the collectibles channel.
Look, the Discord police are like the Nintendo ninjas.
Yep. But they wear
They
boots.
will, yeah, but they wear boots.
They wear
will come
cowboy
for you.
boots.
Yep, they will come for you, and they will give you. At first, it will be gentle reminders, and then after a while, the tone will change.
Anyone who's been in the Discord will think this is funny, but anyone who has not are thinking,
Yeah.
what the hell are they
They're like,
talking
what?
about?
Why? Are there really police in there? No, it's just Tim. Tim, you really should deputize somebody else.
I don't have to. The community has been doing it, like doing this against each other.
I love it. I love it. It's like weights and
Somebody
measures
else will
week.
call out somebody else and just be like, "You're supposed to
See,
put it in
these are
this
the
channel."
things that if you're not a patron of the show or you're not a Twitch Prime subscriber to the Nintendo Dads, you miss out on things like this and weights and measures week. And yeah,
Weights and
know.
measures week.
Weights and Measures Week probably just got us another 5 patrons right there. I know. Well, there's like rushing to take credit card. Give it to me right now. Take my money.
Was that every March? I think it is. Yeah, every March
Yep.
we do
We've
Weights and
already
Measures
missed it
Week.
this year, but you can
We
be
didn't miss it.
in.
It
You
came
can
out.
be in and golden for next year.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna downsize it a little bit so it's not spread out over so many channels. We're gonna downsize it, but
Just the Weights and Measures channel.
Just the Weights and Measures channel.
Yeah, there you go. Wow. Well, this train is derailed and gone down a cliff and caught on fire.
So
we're done.
I scrolled up.
Neighboring town.
I scrolled up in the chat to see who got the gifted subscription, and it's SPC High. I don't think I recognize that name, but it's someone who was
somebody who was there and got a gift.
Yeah, I don't know if it's random from anyone in the following follower list or if they have to be present, but SPC High won.
Nice.
If you don't know who we are and you just got subbed to us, welcome. We're glad you're here.
You get to try us out for a month.
Yep. All right. Well, let's wrap up the show. Episode 530 of Nintendo Dads. We want to thank you for hanging out with us as we talked about Nintendo Switch 2 news. And remember, 7 days, guys. If you don't have your paper chain countdown like Christmas, what are you doing? We want to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger and Jacqueline Amira, as well as our 100+ other patrons for keeping the lights on over here at Nintendo Dads HQ, as well as our Twitch Prime subscribers, nearly 1,500 Twitch followers, and we made it, y'all. We're over 8,000 YouTube subscribers.
Road to 10,000. The road to 10,000.
We're on the road to 10,000. Get that little plaque or whatever.
Let's look at 9,000 first.
Yeah, let's do 9,000.
Yeah, the first one isn't until 100,000. So.
Well, hey, you can help make that a reality by heading over to YouTube and clicking like and subscribe. Click the little bell so you know when we put up a new video. You can also check us out at nintendodads.org for all of our family of podcasts and other recommended podcasts, our latest YouTube videos and tweets, links to all of our social media, Patreon, and Extra Life pages, and Nintendo Dads merch. And hey, don't forget, you can get 20% off your Manscaped order at manscaped.com by using the code NINDADS, NINDADS. You also get free shipping with that. So go over there and treat yourself to something nice. Smell good this summer. Don't stink. That would be bad. Manscaped can help. Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail at 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. I want to say thanks to OC Remix for the music we use throughout the show. And a reminder, wherever you listen to this podcast, download it, podcatch it, whatever. If they have a 5-star review system or a thumbs up or written reviews or whatever, give it to us. We want it. Give us a 5-star review. Give us the written review. Give us the thumbs up. It helps push us up the charts, helps people find the show. You make the world a better place. And you know what? You make Jesse smile. And that's the most important thing. Speaking of that, for me, for Jesse, and Tim, and whatever weird plush dog thing he's holding,
Cerberus.
Go watch the video version if you want to see it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo